Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Vibes Digest. It's your host Cameron St. Clair, and today here I have a very special guest, Unique.
Hey y'all! Thank you, Cameron, for having me.
Absolutely, thank you so much for being here. In case you guys don't know, Unique is my roommate, and oftentimes Unique is not up when I'm recording because typically it's like 3 a.m. But you guys heard me last episode, I said I'm gonna do better. I must do better for my own health. And yeah, I'm filming on a Sunday, so yay!
Yes, I told Cameron if she wanted me to be on, it had to be before my bedtime, which is like 10:30.
So we got it together, 6:30. Yes. Honestly, like that's growth. That's growth. So how was your week, Unique?
Honestly, I've had a very blessed week. It's been great. I have no complaints except the start of the week was a little rocky with a Monday morning 9 a.m. email from our landlord.
Our lovely landlord. Gotta love her.
God bless her.
Gotta love her.
About our cat. Our cat, which...
Our cat, Lila. You guys have heard, if you are a long-term... If you've been listening for a while,
yes,
you know I always lock my lovely cat up into that lovely closet. Right now, she's moved on to the bedroom. You know, she doesn't act too up. She was meowing a little bit, but now she's probably taking a nap if we're being honest. Anywho, yeah, so the landlord's not too fond of pets. However, Lila is an emotional support animal that we got in September. I don't think I've ever talked to you guys on my podcast, like how I even got her. To summarize, I was in LA with my cousins. We bonded. All of a sudden, I started sleeping better. And my cousins were like, you can have her. Like, honestly, her brother was sold. We can't take her. We already have 4 cats. Please take the cat. So I'm like, oh, Unique, like, should we do it? And Unique was like, let me see her. I just said her and it was like a no-brainer.
Yeah, it was immediate. Like, she was ours.
She was ours. And then Unique went ahead and read our lease because we just had re-signed.
Yes. And
she was like, I don't see anywhere in here that says we can't have Lila. So we said, you know what? We gonna have Lila. Like, I mean... she's registered and it's not in our lease, so what's the problem? So we thought.
Right.
Fast forward to last weekend. We didn't have no heat.
Yes. We live in I don't feel like our building is even that old.
It's not that old. It's, I guess, you know what? I think it's because she took ownership in like early 2000s. Yeah. So it doesn't feel old to us and it doesn't look old.
And she definitely renovated it.
Yeah, for sure. But I think it's probably built in like the 90s, 80s.
Anyways, our radiators do not work, and so her son comes over to like fix our radiators. Basically, he has to turn them back on. And Lila was all up in his face, like...
Yeah. Lila just loves men who are specifically doing things, which apparently most female cats, that's how they are.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, my cousins, so Shar was telling me about this. She was saying that they like to be nosy when someone's working on anything, but especially men. Like, have you noticed when, like, Frank comes over, she's, like, all up in Frank's space?
She is all up in his space.
She, like, female cats just like masculine energy. She loves my dad. Yeah, she just, like, loves men. And this poor man, right, period. She's just like me for real. But this poor man, like, he's trying to fix our radiators. And yeah, she was all up in his face, like, but she wasn't even messing with him. Like, honestly, she was just like
she was just looking, she's very curious. Like, she just wants to be all up in your business. She just wants to see what you're doing.
She's so curious.
She was up in his business, and then he's on the phone with his sister. So
sorry. Whoa, what was that?
No, that's what it's giving. And he's like, oh, I don't even know what he said. He mentioned a cat. Knowing
he claims that he was like, oh, I didn't know, I'm not gonna say our unit, but this unit got a cat. Like, okay.
So, yes. And then we got into this, like, text exchange. It was the next day.
That's a really, like, polite and respectful way to call it. Yes, exchange. Text exchange, y'all. They was on our butts. They were down our throats.
Yes, text exchange. It was back and forth for like a day. But
Yeah.
The setup is like our landlord is an older woman, and then her son and daughter are kind of like property managers. So we were speaking mostly with them. It's been a week. We haven't heard nothing from our landlord.
Right. It was silent. So we're like, oh, we're all good, right? Or honestly, we were nervous.
We were nervous. We were like, what is she gonna say? What is she gonna say?
We thought that eviction letter was gonna be plastered on our door.
So much so that both Cameron and I have been scared by the other coming into the apartment thinking it's like our landlord ready to come kick us out. Like,
which like would be so illegal if she just like opened up the door. That's not legal at all. But if you know our landlord, you know anything could happen.
Anything is possible.
Anything's possible with that lovely woman. So yeah, no, there's been times like I forget what day. It might have been Friday for me when I jumped and I was on the phone with my like team, my director, senior managers. Yeah. But we were also like talking crap about the whole situation and how it was handled. And somebody had just said landlord as soon as she was opening that door. I jumped. And then I came home and Unique also jumped. We're scared.
We're scary, guys. We're so scary. But we did it anyways.
And here we are. And honestly, if you've ever seen a photo of Lila, you would get it too. Like, she's a beauty. She's beautiful. The thing that sucks is we're going to be scared for a couple months because our lease is in August. So, anyway.
It's going to be what it's going to be.
It's going to be what it's going to be. It's in God's hands.
Right.
Like, at the end of the day going to end. So, yeah, that's been our week. I feel like my week has been, like, pretty chill. Like, people are starting to go on PTO, you know, all the fun stuff, like holiday parties and whatnot. But
I do feel like this week was a little chiller for you. Like,
yeah.
Because
the weeks prior, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you've been
working.
Going. Yeah.
I do work a 9 to 5. Although I have seen a comment or two on YouTube, get a full-time job. I was like, I do.
The whole time that person definitely doesn't have a full-time job. Because why are you hating on the internet?
Exactly.
You're not busy enough.
You're not busy.
Let's get
a hobby. Get to work. In this economy, please. And speaking of the economy, let's do a pulse check on some current events. I feel like I need a soundboard. I can't wait. I was telling Unique, I cannot wait when I can like start affording regular studio time. This is what I need, like that producer to just start hitting a soundboard so it can be like dun dun dun.
Like breaking news.
Yes, exactly. So, okay, so this week's pulse check is gonna be about the drones. What is happening, y'all? So it's actually funny I want to say this was Thursday. It might have been Thursday. I feel like I was home early on Thursday or Tuesday. Sometime this week, my family group chat was going off. I was getting emails. Sorry, I sound like an old head. I was getting text messages.
That is very old.
I know. That's.
Oh gosh.
That's like when my grandmother's like, "Oh, email me." I'm like, "Text you?"
Oh my gosh.
They were sending articles about how there were like SUV-sized drones in Bowie, Maryland. Had it in like also like outside of DC. Because fun fact, I don't know if you know this, but similar to New York and DC, you can't just have unregistered devices. You can't just have regular, like, you know, obviously because of 9/11, you can't just have an airplane. And actually, okay, this is, I guess, important context. I want to say the summer before I first moved in, so almost 2 years ago, there was like a plane flying, and then like the Air Force like went up in the sky like telling them like you need to land. Apparently they think that the pilot passed out. It was a private plane, they claim, but then they shot it down.
Wow. And
it fell in Virginia, and neighbors, like people heard the boom. My parents, we do not live in Virginia, we live in Maryland, but they still could hear like the effects of it, which is so wild because it wasn't even like Arlington, Virginia, which is outside of DC. It was like pretty deep Virginia, so that's a little scary. The distance, like the fact that I can like still feel a little rumble. I think it's an earthquake because obviously it's like light, but that's still like a 2-hour drive from us. That's scary.
I couldn't imagine.
Imagine. Yeah, I was in Italy though, getting once again my text blowing up like, what was that? Are you guys okay? So a similar thing, but I'm in New York here, and they were talking about like these SUV-sized drones spotted there, and the Pentagon claims that it wasn't coming from any foreign entity, which I mean, I guess, like, would you tell us if it was?
Right, that's like when that balloon. Do you remember? Maybe it was this summer, maybe it was a year ago, there was like an unidentified balloon and they said it was from China.
Wait.
Well, floating like
Wait,
over
but
the ocean.
that would have been a couple years ago. Because why do I feel like that was during the Trump administration?
Was it?
Because remember he was being so mean and nasty to China. We were always like scared.
Maybe it was, but that's what this is giving.
That's the drones. No,
Yes.
it is. And so apparently it's still like flying over around New Jersey. I've been seeing it like on some of my followers' Instagram. They've been like taking videos of the sky. They've seen the drones.
They've seen the drones?
My dad didn't see the drones, but he was talking about like it was a full moon apparently, y'all. And my dad was like, it's a full moon. There's like a weird ring.
That's so funny.
My family thinks it's like aliens, because you know my family. That's like the type of people they are. You know my uncle.
Yes.
My uncle's like, the aliens are here.
Yes. Like, let me get my child.
Right. Let me get my baby and we got
He's
to
booking
go.
his flight. Because
Because
one thing about him, he's gonna catch a flight.
he's gonna catch a flight. He's gonna be like, because of our safety, that's gonna be his excuse
Yes.
for work. Like, because of my safety, I have to go. But like, it's actually kind of scary, question mark, just because we haven't heard anything. It's been a couple days.
What do the drones look like? So I get that they're SUV size. Are they like all black? Like there's no type of logo, no words on them?
We can't, well, obviously the government would probably be able to see that closely, but to the naked eye,
because they're so high up.
Yeah, we can't really see it. From my understanding, they've been just like, when they say SUV size, like it looks like a regular drone. It's just humongous. And it looks like some of the pictures I've seen that they said is like military graded, if you will. They are just like, it looks like 3-in-1, if you will.
Interesting.
There was one that apparently this past Friday crashed into someone's backyard. I would be pissed, because what?
Facts.
Like,
who's
come on
paying
now.
me for that?
Hello?
Who's paying me for that?
But like, look how big the military ones are.
Oh.
Like, they're huge. Yeah.
And the government just doesn't know. For whatever reason, I feel like it has to do with Elon Musk. Like,
we're gonna blame that man.
yes, we're gonna blame Elon Musk because the government would protect him. Like,
no, they definitely would.
my conspiracy theory, and I love conspiracy theories just for like
I eat them up so
the
bad.
fun of imagination.
Yes.
So first off, I think Elon Musk has NASA in his back pocket.
Because of like SpaceX
Because of
and all that.
SpaceX, like he even though he's not part of NASA, like he is controlling the direction of NASA. And who else are they gonna let fly an unidentified drone? Like,
so you
why
really
did they
think it's
shoot
a
it down?
U.S. citizen? I was thinking more so like, okay, now you know how I feel about my man Barack Obama, but at the end of the day, that man, he is the one who started all these drones. Now, you could also say that, yes, we can look at both sides. He created those drones with the hopes of like sending less American military soldiers over, them dying. However, I don't even know if he could predict how powerful and how accurate, or not even accurate, sorry, it wasn't accurate at first, which was like destroying more families and homes and neighborhoods in foreign countries. Because of that though, I would not be surprised if other countries are also up to date with the drones. I wouldn't be surprised, and like, I don't understand. Like, that's just my fear. My fear is, God forbid, this is an attack situation. But my thing is, like, why are y'all just hovering around? And, you know?
Well, so you're making me think maybe it's like a spy who's based in the U.S. But
like maybe working for someone else.
Yeah, working for someone else.
That's a thought.
Yeah.
So my other thought is, what are we doing if we're under attack? And are we worried about Lila? No, like, I'm so serious. I was like, God forbid.
Let's see. What am I doing?
Like, are we going down the street to my uncle's? My uncle might tell us we can't bring Lila.
He would have to. He wouldn't understand. Like,
he hates cats so bad. I don't know. I hate to be that cat mom, but I don't think I could leave her.
I feel like it's a situation where we can figure it out how to keep her. Like,
yeah,
we would have to figure it out.
He's the one with the basement, so I feel like we have to go
that's
to
like
his.
our bunker.
That is our bunker.
He's
the bunker's sadly
flooded
right now, but that is our bunker. Sorry, that's not funny.
I feel like we would have to bring her, although
she be alive.
After some point,
bro.
like, we're in the wilderness and you're acting up, like, I don't have time for that.
yo, we need her to like shut up because there's like enemies around, and she starts meowing in that moment. She tries to run away.
Yeah, like she would do some shit like that.
Literally. We're talking about these drones, and I know it's not picking up on the microphone, but it's probably gonna pick up on my lovely camera. Oh my gosh, there's something hovering outside of our apartment. It sounds like a helicopter. It's definitely not an airplane.
No, it's not an airplane. It's been here too long. It's definitely a helicopter.
But we do live in Brooklyn, so maybe somebody robbed something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, honestly, it could be like a new situation.
It has
happening.
to be an NYPD helicopter at this point.
Let's pray to God. No, like, these are my fears. Ever since moving, it never registered to me when I lived in Maryland, like close to DC, like, oh my gosh, like you are a target, you know? But ever since I've moved to New York, especially where I work, like, I don't know. I become a little bit anxious. So then it's like, I gotta be prepared. But I'm not prepared for aliens either. They might want to eat Lila.
Listen,
and honestly,
I don't know what I would do. I feel like my approach would be trying to become friends with aliens.
Why was I just about to say, like, we could make y'all brownies?
Yeah, like
we could make y'all some margaritas.
Just don't take the people I love. Like,
it's just like, you know.
I would be cool to check out their planet, like whatever y'all got. If I could live there.
Hello?
If we could go.
If you could, like, I don't know, describe where you live.
Right.
Y'all got beaches.
Do I have to work?
Do we have a 9 to 5?
Do I have to pay rent?
I honestly might rather be with y'all. Like, take me with you.
Right.
Do y'all have a crazy incoming president? Yeah. Take me with
another planet, right? Because another country is not far enough.
It's not far enough. If we're being real, you gotta leave the world.
Yes. Leave the world behind.
Perhaps the galaxy. Like, we need a restart.
Yeah, reset button.
And I mean, like, this is gonna sound so crazy to say, but I picture aliens to just be green, which I know they probably look like us. But I'm like, y'all probably don't got black people, so y'all need us.
Y'all need us. They would love black people.
They really would. Culturally,
yes.
I feel like we would understand each other.
Right. Because, well, I feel like this is such a tangent, but it's making me think, like, are there hierarchies of alien types? And, like, if the black alien comes to the U.S., like, black people will be good. If the, like, supremacist alien comes...
they're like, we're coming at you first.
Yeah, then it's over for us.
Or, like, God forbid, they, like, start time over and it's, like, slavery.
Right.
Bro, alien slavery.
Speaking of which, I saw this article today. There are some states... I need to pull up the article. There are some states that are trying to, like, reverse the remaining slavery restrictions.
What?
One of them being California.
Oh, wait, I did see that. But it has to do with the prisons, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's essentially slavery. I didn't hear that. And I want to say it didn't pass, right?
I honestly...
But it came, like, really close.
I'm saying this. I, like, saw the headline. I did not read the article.
Now she just read the headline, y'all. You sent me the article, and at the next week's post check, I'll, like, update.
Yeah, please do, because I'm uninformed.
Okay, let's move on to another topic, though. You know, we might be a little bit more informed. Digital Digest, with, as you guys know, it's all things trending on social media, and this week I've seen plenty of tweets about the Jamie Foxx special on Netflix. We watched this today, so it's fresh in our minds.
Yes, man.
We had similar reactions. Like, we didn't know what to expect. I knew he was going to touch on, like, his health scare that he went through, but I didn't expect to see him cry.
Bro.
I've never seen Jamie Foxx cry before. I don't think I've ever seen him cry.
That special was deep. And it's crazy because it was still funny.
Yeah.
I loved his mantra, if I can stay funny, I can stay alive. And I feel like
that's so beautiful.
I want to take that into my life. Like, if I can continue to be me, if I continue to be joyful, I can survive anything.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness, I was not ready for all that was about to come at me.
No, I agree. I also love his impressions. I love that that's how, because you know, that's what Jamie Foxx is known for, like all of his impressions. And to just know that he's able to still do them well,
oh my
even
gosh,
after this. I was just thinking throughout, like, he probably leaned into his humor because he was probably scared that he might have lost it.
Right.
Could you imagine, like, you just lose the talent of being, like, you know, having impressions of other famous people and them to be, like, so clear, so precise. Like, some people can never speak again after a stroke like that.
So true. I actually did not even think of that.
Like, I feel like that's probably why he was, like, really gripping onto it. Like, okay, like, I can still come up with, like, creative jokes, you know, off the dome.
Right, like, I am still Jamie Foxx. Because he kept talking about, like, wait, but I'm Jamie Foxx. Why is this happening to me? And
it's so real. It's because it also, like he said, tumors, strokes, health conditions, they don't care about how much money you have. They don't. And even I love that he touched on the religious aspect of it, too, where I even question myself. Like, whenever I feel like I'm dealing with something really tough or hard, or maybe I'm not getting as far as I want to career-wise, content creation, whatever it may be, I definitely have those moments where I'm like, damn, God, like, why is this person who isn't a great person getting all of these amazing acclimates, but, like, I'm sitting here struggling, you know? So same with Jamie, when he's like, why would this happen to me? I'm a good person. Like, out of all these, and I'm sure he knows, out of all these Hollywood people, we have someone Diddy
jokes kept killing me. No, the Diddy jokes.
I love that he addressed that though.
Me too.
Because people were definitely trying to have rumors that he was at them parties. He said, no, I left them early. He said it was too slippery.
Yes, that joke was so funny.
It's too slippery. I gotta get out of here. I don't know what's happening. No, that's real as hell. Like, and, I don't want to go down that tangent, but this is also kind of what I touched on, like, last episode when it came to, like, the whole Jay-Z stuff. But just celebrities in general, like, yes, just very similar to the whole Epstein list. Just because we went to a Diddy party doesn't mean I was participating in the horrendous acts that Diddy was doing.
I wasn't in the back room.
I was in the back room. There's a before and an after. There's a before, present, after. And after. And it gets crazier the more after it gets. Same with Epstein. I can't remember the comedian, but there's literally a very popular video during the time that said, yeah, you might see my name on that list too, because think about it. You have a bunch of rich friends saying, hey, do you want to come check out my private island? Hell yeah. Then you get to that private island, you're like, hell no. Like,
listen, if anybody asks me to go to a private island, I'm hopping on the jet.
I'm saying yes, with no questions. And perhaps I should do some research.
Maybe I should, but I'm not.
But, like, initial thoughts, like, absolutely. You tell me, do I want to go to Turks and Caicos on your, like, little private island off the Turks?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And I get to fly private, everything paid for it?
Yes, I'm going.
And if I just know you from, like, a personal, like, you know, like, a fun guy, like, you just throw parties. Like, yes, I'm going to say that. And now, obviously, there are people who were closer to Diddy, right? And who might have seen him do horrible things, like, it was in the case that apparently, like, Usher saw Cassie get punched in the stomach, for example, which is horrible, and no one spoke up. I think that's a whole different conversation about, like, imbalance of power, like, where people are at in their careers, knowing that if I just stand up right now, as wrong as it is, that's my career. I think that's a very different conversation than what we're currently talking about, which is, oh, Diddy's known for throwing the craziest after parties. I'm a new and upcoming artist. Hell yeah, I want to be seen because I can also network there. I can also just have a good time with other celebrities, but I'm also going home. Yeah, that's the whole thing. But I am happy that he talked about it. I think it's funny as hell that he mentioned Cat Williams.
So I was about to ask if you had a favorite impression, because I do think Cat Williams was
good. He ate that.
Yeah,
he ate that. Denzel's was really good too.
That one was really
Denzel's was good, but no, Cat, that was funny. And also he kind of threw some shots at Cat. When he was like, that man will tell 2 lies and 1 truth and throw a sir on it, and everyone believes him. I feel like Cat Williams had some solid points. I just think the people that he was pointing his finger to wasn't, you know, I don't know. I don't know if I fully believe everyone that he was, like, saying, oh, like, how did this person? But I think how, like, black men are treated in entertainment, specifically in Hollywood, is absolutely true. Even down to, like, why does every comedian have to dress up as a woman at some point? Like, I think that is a fair statement because we've seen it. But just because I did that doesn't necessarily mean I also, like,
on the dark side.
I'm on the dark side, or I'm having sex with directors, or, like, I'm selling my soul. Like, I saw this in the Rory Maul podcast where he made a great point. He was like, do you know how easy and how many rich people it would be if it was that simple to just drink a child's blood to be famous? Like, there is some hard work you gotta put in. And they were cracking jokes. They were like, Rory, so you're saying it's Amara, your daughter. They're like, he's like, have a shot of her blood and I'm having multiple Grammys. I'm set for life. My family's set for life. I think Amara would also tell me, yeah, daddy, take a shot of my blood. Like, this is very dark humor.
That's
However,
crazy.
Like, I think there's some, like, validity in there. A shot of I donated way more blood the other day. That was a pint of blood. Hello? Like,
bro.
A shot of blood is really not going to do much, but I think it just speaks to the larger conversation of, and this I've noticed within specifically Black entertainers, people like Beyonce's of the world, people just can't fathom that level of success, and they can never just chop it up to being, oh, you worked hard. You know? It's like, no, you actually just, you were in the right places at the right time. You networked. You did what you had to do. You climbed that ladder. That doesn't mean I sold my soul for that opportunity. You know? Now, I do think there's some dark and twisted things happening behind, you know, Hollywood. I think I always say this, that when you have too much money, too much access, your mind goes crazy. And that's both like just mentally, sexually, physically, all of the above. People like to see how far they can go.
Yeah.
You know, they want to see how far they can go when they get that certain amount of money, because also like regular everyday crazy things to us is like normal to them, you know? Not an excuse, horrible things, but that doesn't mean that that's the reason why they are where they are today.
Yeah, I mean, this is even a greater discussion, not just about Hollywood, but also about the world. Like, I mean, it's hard though, because now I'm thinking about like the government in different countries.
Yes.
I mean, our government has definitely done some crazy, shady things. But overall, there's always this theme, no matter where we're going, of like people sitting in a dark room and like plotting. Like, is that real? Is it not? I don't know.
I feel like you're like Illuminati stuff. Like, I
guess.
can see that being real. I can absolutely see like there being a certain level of people. Or like if you even think about media, like how media is kind of monopolized, you know, like there's only certain, like everyone's been buying each other, so we're hearing the same type of message. I definitely think that there's a certain level of like powerful individuals in this world, people that we would never even know their names because they have so much money. Like they're richer than Elon Musk, which is hard to believe to even have that type of money. And I'm speaking primarily about like international billionaires. I do think that there is a certain level of controlling going on, because I do feel like they have that level of power. With that being said, I just don't see like the Justin Biebers and the like, even like the Beyoncés, Rihannas of the world. Like, I don't think those are the ones truly controlling. Now, I do believe Jay-Z is controlling the entertainment industry through like businesses, you know, business deals like the NFL. I feel like, I mean, if you guys noticed, these past couple Super Bowls been black as hell. His first Super Bowl was with J-Lo and Shakira, and I feel like that was some testing the waters, and ever since, it was all black people.
Testing the waters.
And I mean, like, representation, you know, like I feel it, but I think some people would define it as like, oh, you're controlling like who is getting to, you know, be on that front center stage. What are what am I trying to say? The type of artists that we even want to hear. When's the last time we heard a country artist perform at the Super Bowl? Jay-Z don't want to hear no country. You know what I mean? Or just like be able to push. And maybe that also would be more so tied into like nepotism, for example. You know, like maybe the things that you can control is like Bronny getting to be, you know, play for the Lakers. Like, I could see like that level of power. I just don't see our top A-list celebrities controlling our government, you know? We gotta go off.
I know, we're so off topic. What are we even talking about? We're talking about Jamie Foxx.
We're talking about Jamie Foxx. I was like, we're gonna have to have a whole other episode strictly about that. I was gonna go down the rabbit hole.
Yes, Jamie Foxx. I was thinking like, I really just appreciated it because I felt like it was a deeply human experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Cameron and I went to this networking event on Friday, and man, it was similar vibes. Like,
very similar.
Very fulfilling and love in the room, but there was a lot of just heavy life experience going on. And I don't know, I think both of these experiences have brought to the forefront for me of like what is the essence of a life experience, of a lived experience, like the human experience. And man, tragedy is such a big part of it.
For sure.
And so for those who don't know, I'm also an artist and
yes,
a visual artist. Yes.
Talk about that.
And I was giving out words of wisdom this week, and one of them, and maybe we can get into it later, but one of them talks about like how tribulation creates like this hope and this belief in God and like builds your faith even though it's so hard and you feel like you can't get through it, but it is such a deep human experience. And I just felt like he was on that stage and it was so human.
For sure.
And the way that he was able to maintain his joy was inspiring. And
oh my gosh, his daughter going up there and like
singing
and him breaking in tears.
If I was the type of girl that cried at
no, wait. Why did I feel the same way? You know when all of my non-criers understand that moment of like, oh, I should be crying right now. And I absolutely would if that was me. But like, yes, that was a tearjerker.
Now instead I'm just like uncomfortable because I don't know how to exist.
Wait, that's so funny. That's so funny.
Like, I'm just like, this is really deep, really emotional. However, I'm going to put up my wall.
Oh, no. That's so real.
It's so real.
But it's like, I don't even think about it on that level. More so just like, I just physically don't really cry to something like movies. You know, but it was definitely extremely emotional. Deep. Highly recommend. I felt like it was really good. It
was emotional, but also I was laughing out loud too.
Yeah. There was many moments.
I was thinking as you were talking about the impressions. The other part that I thought was really funny was the parts where he talks about dizziness and he's like shaking.
Oh yeah, shaking his head, and he was like, "So now when I see people go like this, I know what that means." And he's like, it's like we're communicating, like, hey.
Exactly. I thought that was so funny.
No, he was insane. I started really laughing out loud when he's talking about those baths and like the nurse having to bathe him.
Yes.
And he's like, wait, you seen me? You see me naked? Because I always wonder if people question that. Like, I'm at my lowest. What do you mean? Yeah. Or I don't need a bedpan. I'm Jamie Foxx, and then I pooped on myself. Like, oh.
I need a bedpan.
Yeah.
Bro, I mean, geez. I was just like, if I was in that moment, I hope I could have that kind of feeling.
I know. I'd be crushed. I'd be crumbling.
Just give me the bedpan.
Right. I guess that's where I'm at. Just hurry up. Don't look.
Yeah, it would just...
No, that is tough. I'm so happy that he got a full recovery. That's amazing.
Me too, thank God.
And shout out to his sister for even like being so straightforward and being like, oh my gosh, no, that was the first joke that he had. When he talked about that first doctor, he was like, what the hell was that? And there's Yelp reviews. Basically, the first doctor was just like, what did he gave him like a shot? He gave him a
cortisone shot, which is like steroids.
Yeah. Freaking steroids. He said, okay, he can go home. Huh?
That's just like classic doctor though.
It is.
Some of them, and I don't even think it's their training. Like, I feel like they actually don't care sometimes. Like, and they don't care to explain, like they don't care to actually invest and investigate. Like they're so busy, they're so burnt out.
It's also part of like new age medicine. So my grandmother on my dad's side, she's a pediatrician, or she used to be. She retired now, but part of her retirement is she didn't like the new structure of it. She went into the practice for children because she wants to have conversations with children, learn about what's going on at school. And that's also how you can like figure out a child's like mental health. You know, if I need to, recommend other doctors like therapists, and just like seeing where a child is at, especially because I feel like, in her opinion, the doctor, because sometimes like they might not feel comfortable sharing certain things with their parents, but they will with their doctor that they trust and love. However, like in the last 10-15 years, it completely switched. I would say like 10 years, honestly, where they're like, oh, you have a time crunch. Especially when they got bought. Her old practice was bought to like some private firm or something like that.
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on this.
Yeah.
Because I'm about to go down another rabbit hole, Cameron.
But I say that to say that like, I don't even know it's fully on the doctors as much as it's on these new like
So what
structures.
It is, private equity companies are going through and they're buying up like just healthcare facilities, practices.
Yeah.
And private equity's goal obviously is to like grow businesses quick, cut costs, like increase efficiency. So that's what they're doing. And they obviously the healthcare sector is like a huge economic opportunity.
Absolutely.
So yes, that is the reason why
I didn't know that, but that makes sense.
Is changing.
That makes complete sense.
That's why, because a lot of healthcare is becoming private equity owned.
Which is, it's so tough. It's so tough. One of my friends, her parents own a practice, and they're like holding on strong. They definitely got some offers, but they're like, no, strictly because you're gonna ruin the culture of this practice.
Right. But it is hard. Yeah,
it is tough. So like that first doctor, like as bad as I was, he probably saw also it makes the doctor even more tired because now I've seen 50 patients versus the 25.
Exactly.
And I would have been able to pay more attention to the 25, picked up on more signs. No, y'all just have me going in and out, in and out, in and out. And like, don't ask me questions. It's not real care. Like, don't even ask them, how are you doing? Because you don't have time for that. How are you feeling?
Right.
That's what they care about instead. So, yeah. I know. It's actually really sad. And that's another larger conversation.
Yes, we're getting into it right now.
We're getting in real deep, real deep. I'm like, damn, like, do we even switch on to like
I know
the freaking Vibe Spotlight? Like, I don't know.
Is there anything else that I want to say about Jamie Foxx?
His white children.
Oh, right. That was the one thing. You're right. Yes. Jamie Foxx's white daughters. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll start by saying both of them are beautiful.
Yeah, they are gorgeous,
talented,
hair.
and
very
they
talented.
both seem like
genuine people.
Yes, genuine people.
Yeah, absolutely, and they love their dad.
Yes, they love their dad.
I really love seeing that because I feel like when you have a celebrity that is like at a certain status or makes a certain amount of money, sometimes the relationships with their kids isn't
right, or like he's not with their mothers.
Yes, exactly, but they still love him. You know,
I thought that was really dope.
Yeah.
However, I was just a little confused.
I was more confused with the second one, but yes, the oldest too.
It was the oldest for me.
Really? Versus the one playing guitar? Probably because you couldn't see her face as much.
Yeah, you couldn't see her face. I mean, she had curly hair.
You know what? She definitely gave like 3B hair.
Yeah, like
3C.
She gave hair. She was also like styled kind of cool, maybe because she was younger. But the older one, so I look her up. Then I see, and then later in the special, Jamie Foxx is like walking her down the aisle, and I'm like, let me just look. In my head, I'm like, her husband's probably white, but I was like, let me give her the benefit of the doubt.
Nope, he was white, which means the bloodline is over. I do fear, but I mean, it's not his last name, so.
It's not, but
no, the bloodline's
dead the bloodline is dead, and unfortunately. Actually, let me not even say that. The bloodline is
I'm gonna ask you offline.
Yeah, you can ask me offline. I don't want to get too crazy, but yeah, I mean, and I also think, again, so many of the things that we're talking about are broader issues, but
no, for sure.
That is such a Hollywood
1,000%
issue, like
1,000%.
all throughout
I think
Hollywood.
Dr. Umar preaches this like every day.
Oh my gosh.
Dr. Umar constantly says this.
I saw this AI tweet this week of Dr. Umar proposing to a white woman.
Wait, I saw that and somebody was like, this is horrible. Like, this is a hate crime. Like, I know he is shaking in his boots.
That was so funny.
No, people have been cracking me up with those AI. But I just saw, like, okay, we're not going to go too deeply into this, but AI is getting a little creepy. I saw an ad where you can get your crush to give you a kiss on AI. You just upload a video of, like, them or a picture of them, and it, like, shows your guys' faces merging.
That's weirdo behavior.
And now we are, like, taking advantage of AI. Artificial intelligence is truly meant to enhance our lives and, like, you know, our knowledge and, like, help us with medicine. We just talked about that. Like, perhaps you can use AI to, like, have a, but maybe that won't be as personal either. Like, you know, people, like, filling out forms, AI telling the doctor what the issues are. But it could cut down time, and then maybe the doctor could, like, find out more personal, you know, have more personable, I should say, conversations with them. With that being said, AI should not be about having your crush freaking kiss you. There's some issues with consent about that. That's some weird stuff. And not even just that, but also the Dr. Umar pictures. Like, it's funny, but, like, y'all, we're misusing. I'm
just thinking, like, imagine you're at a man's house and he opens his computer. All of a sudden, it's a video of
y'all
him
kissing
on AI.
Girl, I am calling the Uber.
Yeah, I'm going home.
The Uber. Like,
I'm going home.
I'm going home. No, you just ruined that.
You're very weird.
And I'm scared. Like, honestly, I'm scared for my life.
Yeah, I would have thought I would not make it through the night.
Honestly, you have to watch the show Cross. You still haven't watched it, have you?
I haven't, but I really want to.
Add that on your, like, holiday list. You gotta watch Cross. There's something not similar, without spoiling it. It wasn't obviously any, like, AI him kissing. However, it was one of those, like, oh, we met on a dating app and you're not who you said you were type thing. Where, like, he catfished in a way, like, personality-wise and what he does off on the side. And, yeah, it's a whole thing. Very spooky, very scary. But it was also scary for her to, like, witness it happening in real time.
Right.
While she was there and just, yeah. And she could not escape. That's the scary part.
Could not get out. My sister loves that.
We cannot escape. We can't get out. I can't.
Mama.
This is so funny. The last thing about Jamie Foxx is that he was recently on the news again because at his birthday dinner yesterday, someone at another table threw a glass at him that hit him in his mouth. I don't know what he said.
All I know is,
and he had to go back to the hospital to get stitches.
If I was Jamie Foxx, I would be living it up. So maybe it was
you wouldn't care about the glass.
Nah, I would, but like maybe we were all so drunk, like it was an accident. Like
no, it hit him.
But who did it though?
Someone threw glass at him. We don't know any context of like what did he say, what did he do, like. It's like if I threw a freaking glass champagne, this wine glass at his face, and it like, yeah, he had to get stitches.
I feel like they were probably just also drunk celebrating life. Like he didn't know.
It was just like a woo!
Yeah, like he didn't even know if he was gonna have this birthday. Every birthday to him probably feels like
praise God. You know?
That's real.
That's real. Hey, let me throw one back. No,
right.
Let me throw one back at you.
But that is kind of crazy. Like, how did I need to know how that went down.
I don't know. I need some more context too. I feel like I think his response was about like how he didn't think that he would be alive and that he's like in good shape.
Exactly. Really I don't even care about that stuff. I will say the other thing that really struck me was how silent everything was.
What do you mean?
Like
how we didn't know anything. Yes, and people thought that he was dead and all of that. Like I love that he addressed that too, all the conspiracy theories. No, that's because that's a real family.
Yes, it was really nice. And then I think the other funny thing was like when I looked up his oldest daughter, it said that he had another, but I could not find who she was online.
Wait, T.
I know. It was like Corinne Foxx and the other daughter.
And the other?
Yes!
Now I'm mad, because why am I the other? What?
But I'm like, maybe they want her to be like normal.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I wouldn't want to be normal.
But they kept her hidden.
If I'm Jamie Foxx's daughter, let me be known.
Bro,
that is a quick bag.
I think it was even like on his Wikipedia, it was like he has 2 daughters, Corinne Foxx and...
Wasn't that the younger one that we saw?
Corinne is the older one. The younger one's name begins with an A. I don't remember.
Oh. So you're saying there's like one older than Corinne?
No, it is the younger daughter, but like I could not find her name on I had no clue who she was before.
You know what? That's so true. That's so true because when you look up Jamie Foxx and you see his children, it does only say Corinne. So yeah.
Exactly.
And we didn't really see her face, so maybe she is trying to keep it like private. She kind of had like a her moment. You remember when her was
She did have a her moment.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so let's move on to our lovely... Okay, let's move on to our lovely vibe spotlight, which is where we highlight an artist of the week, and this artist is going to be Cleo Sol.
Yes, Cleo Sol, man, what a beautiful artist. And we're highlighting her because she's coming to New York in March for her first ever US show.
Which I had no clue about.
Because
I had no clue. Where is she from?
So she's from the UK, she's from London, but Half Jamaican.
Really?
As all of them are.
Wait, no, I wouldn't have guessed that. I thought that was a white woman.
She's half Jamaican. I saw like Serbian Spanish, which is
wow.
That's white.
She's like a Georgia Smith.
Yes, but all those UK girlies are like that.
You know, us
I love them.
We be running deep.
I love them. Yeah, so she's coming, and I'm so excited. And she released. Geez, I think it was 2024, maybe 2023, but she released like 2 albums or EPs this year that I really love.
Yeah, I love her music. I will say, I have never told you the way I discovered her. I don't even want to say discovered. How I found out who this artist was. My lovely ex.
Oh.
The one from college. The one before I moved to New York that's very much a narcissist. Yeah, him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So before we were like actually together, this was like junior year. We dated officially like senior year. It's not funny. I'm laughing at the trauma and pain now, okay?
If I can stay funny, I can stay alive.
Right, hello? What did Jamie say? I
have to write that on my like vision board or some shit.
Facts. If I can say funny, I can say alive.
Yes, period.
We're listening, like, picture this. We're in bed, we're listening to music. He's putting me on to music. Because one thing about all my exes, they all, like, put me on to music.
I feel like unfortunately, men are good at it.
I have really good taste in music. Like, honestly, I stalk all my exes, and they know this. I stalk their Spotify and Apple. Because put me on. A recent ex put me on Joe K, and, you know, that's the DJ that I'm obsessed with now. Like, shout out to him. But this one, I know this sounds nuts. So this one, we're in bed. I'm like, oh, like, put me on to like some new music or whatever. It's 2021. He plays Promise by Cleo Soul. And I'm like, oh, this is so beautiful. Like, oh my gosh. Mind you, he had just broken up with his other chick. Why was that their song? And I didn't find out, like, this is the sad part. So, like, we were probably, like, messing around with each other October to, let's say, like, January time period.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you know what happened. Like, he was low-key messing with her while he was messing with me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It was messy. It was messy as hell. So, with that context, y'all, picture me now, February, listening to the song. I'm like, this is amazing. Then I listened to the lyrics, and I'm like, this Negro played this song that like was not only their song together, but the song that he healed from her. Mind you, I dated him a year later. we listen, we don't judge. I dated him a year later, and I was like, you mother effer. Like, this is the song that you and your ex loved, and that you got over her with. If y'all ever listen to Promise, like, listen to the words.
That is so crazy.
And he said yes, and, well, we dated for 3 months after that, so anyway.
But, I mean...
So, hey, at first I was going to be like, I don't want to see Miss Cleo's Soul. Now I'm like, wait, I do kind of want to.
I kind of want to. I mean, she's just so great. I do love gospel music, but I also really love music about God that's not gospel.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I love a good, like...
I love that too, yes.
And it's usually from artists that are... I mean, they're Christian in their lives, but their music is not necessarily Christian.
You know what's so fascinating? I picked up on... She almost reminds me of, like, Lauryn Hill. Like, second Lauryn Hill. Like, when she was doing, like, the EPs.
Yeah.
She only made one album, but, like, the second one. And, oh my gosh, what is that song called that she always... I gotta find peace of mind.
Yeah.
And you know how people use, like, some people think it's about men and, like, a boyfriend, but a lot of people recognize that's actually a song about God. Yeah. And it's like, you don't really realize it, but it touches you a little bit different, too.
Exactly. Like, yeah. And I mean, it's so great because, yeah, I mean, I find so much ability to relate and, like, bring God into my daily life through the things that these people are saying. And it's music that I really... want to listen to. Like, I love gospel, but it has a time and a place, whereas R&B or like I can listen to whenever. And
I agree. I definitely feel like when I listen to gospel music, it would be more like the Yolanda Adams. Oh, I'm in my lowest. If you ever hear me playing some Yolanda Adams up in here, like, honestly,
I'll check on you.
Check in on me. Okay, let's do a wellness check because your girl is down bad, okay? But no, I definitely have my moments where I'm like, oh, I want to fully tap into gospel. But I was gonna say that I never really thought about that. But you're right, like Cleo does sing about God, and it just never processed that this is like secular Christian music.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's both. So do you listen to Salt?
I've never heard of
You've
Salt.
never heard of Salt. So Salt is a UK band.
Okay.
Cleo Soul, I mean, they're mysterious. They're like, they don't really say who they
like
are.
Like a Sonder moment, like Brent.
Yes, but Cleo Soul is the main singer.
Okay.
Her husband is the producer, and her husband also produces like all of her music as well. I don't know who else is in the band, but it's like a whole band.
I didn't even know she was married, but like
she has a baby. Yeah, right.
In today's age,
we listen and we don't judge. However, she is married.
Got you.
And I mean, that just sounds like a dream.
That.
Like your husband's your producer.
I know.
Whatever. So Salt, and you should listen to them, and maybe you can update the people.
Yeah.
But I'd say like most of their music is like about God. They have a whole album that's titled God.
I love that. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely
and
listen.
so that's actually like, I mean, Cleo Soul is her own independent artist, but a lot of her discography is also from Salt.
Okay.
And it's spelled S-A-U-L-T.
Oh, they're so British.
They are British.
Like, why would you need to add a U? For this next segment, I'm not too sure what the name of it is gonna be. We're trying to figure that out. We landed on Vibe Zone for now, or Vibe Exchange. Maybe if somebody wants to like let us know some suggestions.
Please.
But like, let's just test it out. Hopping into the Vibe Zone with Unique Hodge, discovering some personal fun facts about her and her artwork. That's pretty much what this segment's gonna be. Like, basically, anytime I have a co-host, I want to start interviewing them and just like learning where they have creativity. And as Unique kind of mentioned, she is an artist herself. So the first question I have for you is, when did you discover that you're an artist? Or that you even had the talent?
Ooh, that's kind of a hard question, because I think I could answer it in two ways.
Okay.
One, I started painting my senior year of college, actually. It's literally senior spring. And they have like a painting elective class that I was trying to get into, but I didn't. Honestly, I don't even really know why I wanted to paint, but I was like, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
So I didn't get in, so I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm gonna find my own art class.
Okay.
So I took an art class outside of school. It was oil painting, which is one of my main mediums. And I was like, wait, I can actually do this. Like, why are these paintings kind of good? And that was that. Honestly, I probably didn't paint. After taking that class, I probably put it down for some time.
Okay.
I was going through things for sure.
That's real.
Yes. And I think when I felt like I wanted to be a painter, because I mean, so many people can paint. Honestly, I believe everybody has creative abilities and visual art abilities. Because me, I started from the bottom. Like, I have very little training.
But there is, I would also argue, like, there's a little bit of a talent. You know, you gotta be able to have just like that natural talent.
Yes.
I even think about that when it comes to my like social media or like my
that's
podcasting.
true.
Like, there is a natural talent of me, like, being able to just come up with ideas.
That's
off the dome, or like
true.
Editing comes at ease to me. Just like painting for you comes at ease for you.
That's true.
But as we've learned, it's not like that for everybody.
That is true, yes. And that's where God comes in.
Absolutely. You just
I feel like it was 2023 where, after leaving college, I came to New York, 2023. And I was like, I just want to figure out who I want to be. Like, what does my dream life look like? And I dreamed. And I think New York is a really powerful place because it feels like anything is possible here. So it's a great place to come. And even if you're, in the trenches, it allows you to dream.
It makes you dream bigger.
It makes you dream bigger. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, you know what? I want to be a painter. And it's this year that I was like, all right, if this is who I want to be, I have to like make the moves.
Okay. What does making the moves actually look like?
Making the moves, what does that look like? That's a good question. So, making the moves looks like doing the work, painting, showing up for more classes. I took one class like maybe my first year in New York, but this summer I took 2 art classes. I was in art class Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
And I saw so much growth from that. Yeah. Like I told her, like, they were worth it.
Yes, 100%. If it's something that you kind of know, like you love, take a class. And they're cheaper than you think. For sure.
What would you say the price range, the average price range?
The average price range is like, I would say it's somewhere between $200 to $400 a month.
Okay. For how many classes?
So, I mean, it depends. Like my Saturday class was probably like $300 a month, and that's 4 classes, but they're 8 hours each.
Oh my gosh.
It's 9 to 5.
Holy crap.
I can't do the math right now, but like if you break that down by hour.
300, but like 4, that's like what, roughly 90-ish?
90 for 8 hours.
For 8 hours. That's
of
like
your
$10 an hour.
Exactly, exactly. They're like very much more economical than you would think.
Okay.
I was taking classes, and then this year I wanted to have a show, so I had my first show that I planned and executed.
So good. Do you want to touch on that?
Yeah, sure. So I had a show for my 25th birthday called Things Not Seen, which talks about the power of faith in your life and what the journey of faith looks like, how you implement faith to become the person that God has created you to be, the destiny, like actually fulfilling the destiny that God has spoken over your life. Because for me, painting is one of those things.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't a creative child growing up. I didn't really explore that side of myself. And I'm very much an analytical person. Like, I studied biology. I do, like, business strategy. So, for me, like, painting came out of left field. But then I had that talent. And I was like, well, I can't deny this.
To it, right?
Yeah.
It's so funny. I feel like I've almost I've witnessed a lot of growth with you and just like living with you, right? But that's just what you just said about how you didn't consider yourself a creative person. Oh, I hate to talk about that damn social club. That social club that robbed us.
Oh my god.
I won't even drop the name.
Yeah, we can't drop the name.
But they robbed us real bad. And if you know anything about like a black owned, I won't get into the gender, but a black owned social club in Brooklyn, then you're probably familiar with what happened. It's very sad what happened to them.
It is, because I was rooting for them.
I was rooting for them real hard. However, how it was managed was poorly done. I'm gonna leave it at that. But I remember during the application, when we were talking about like, oh, like, do we want to apply to this? You just kept saying like, oh, but I don't think I'm that creative of a person.
Oh my gosh. I don't even remember this.
Because this was like when we first met. Like this
is
has
when
to
we
be
first
like,
met, yeah.
What, September, October time period of 2023?
Yeah.
And you were like, I mean, I just don't know what I'm gonna like. They're asking questions about how do you like, you know, it was something about like you being a creative individual.
I do remember now. I was like, what am I gonna put in the application to show that I like should be here?
Which is so wild because that was what, this time last year.
Yeah.
Completely different person.
Yes,
night
yes.
and day.
2024 has been a very big blessing, but I mean, New Year's Eve I set my intention. Like,
yeah.
I painted, like I knew what I wanted to get out of this year very early on, and yeah, I just kind of went after it.
So do you have an idea of like what 2025 would look like?
Man, 2025, I really need to sit down and do the planning because I haven't. But overall, I feel like 2025 is the year of work. Like, I feel like
How is work going to be defined differently for you?
That's a good question. I feel like not just for me, but so many other people have kind of like put a stake in the ground and then need to like continue to go harder, get bigger, prove more.
If I could raise my hand, I would raise my hand.
Exactly right. You have this podcast, you put your stake in the ground, and now it's about, okay, like I just have to do the work to keep going.
Right.
And so that's what 2025 feels like for me. I feel like I need to like set my priorities and what all those things look like, but it feels like a year of work, which is scary. I don't like to work, but...
But you know what? It's also tough, and let's talk about this. Working a 9 to 5, for you, a 9 to 8, damn near.
Yeah.
And then like still finding time for your passion, because I'll never forget, I saw someone say, you put in like 8+ hours to your corporation, making them so much money, because you have to, right? That pays the bills. Right. And you know, there's some passion in it in that too.
Dependent.
Yeah. And, you know, you want to be successful, though, in anything that you're a part of, right?
For sure, 100%.
However, like, you have stronger passions because it's more personal for you. I feel like our also things that we do on the side, like your artwork, my content creation, we can foresee it paying more than our 9 to 5.
Yes.
However, we are probably what? I would say maybe 2-3 years away from that.
Probably, for me, I feel like 5.
I would say 2 to 3 and put it out there in the world.
Yeah,
and God's gonna make it shake.
You're right. Let's do that.
But however many years, I think it's just us being able to recognize it's gonna take years. And you know, a lot of people, they feel like they're just gonna kick off right away. They think, oh, I have this cool idea. And maybe it's also like, you know, social media, people are viral,
yes.
people do blow up randomly, but they're also not keeping that, you know, stability.
Exactly.
You know, that longevity it kind of dies off, unfortunately. So for us, yes, we recognize like, hey, this thing could be bigger and it's something we're genuinely passionate about, but we gotta pay them bills.
We do gotta pay them bills.
So how do you find the time? How do you find, like, after being dog tired from your main job, the job that's actually gonna put that money in, how do you find time for your personal not even hobbies, just passions.
Passions and like who you truly want to be.
Yes, your desired person.
Like, I don't know. It's so hard. For me, I am trying to build discipline. Like, that is the big thing for me.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Like, I think so many people can fail because they'll be like, oh, I have creative block, or like, I'm just not feeling it today. Valid, I understand your feelings. However, sometimes discipline looks like I'm not finishing a painting, but I'm putting color on a page. Yeah. And that's it. Like, as long as I did it and I am doing it, that's what's really important. Yeah. So continuing to be disciplined is so important for me, and like finding ways to push myself to be disciplined. And I call this like section of my life sowing season, where like I'm sowing the seeds that I actively want to reap in the future. Yeah. And so the work is part of that. Like, and the work takes time. It takes time,
and being consistent, like you said, discipline, and also just like consistency. When you're not seeing the exact results you want to see right away.
Exactly. Like, Cameron knows, I've been selling outselling my paintings a couple times this year. I have not sold one painting. I think I've been vending maybe it's like 5 or 6 times, which is not that much, but it's more than I did last year, so not too much. But I have not sold paintings. However, I'm gonna keep going out there. Yeah. And it's that consistency.
Because you're also getting eyes.
Exactly.
I'm getting followers. Yes, you just got a commission.
Exactly.
So another question I have for you is, how do you create concepts for your art pieces?
That's a really good question. So I feel like I really want my art to be work that helps communicate to other people like the essence of the human experience. So similar to Jamie Foxx's comedy show, like, I want my art to represent feelings, emotions, experiences that are almost universal if possible. And one of my biggest sources of inspiration from that is God and the Bible, because that's what the Bible is. Like, it tells you what life is, what life is about, and how it's meant to be lived, and what it feels like living. And I also feel that so many people have a hard time reading the Bible. It's not an easy book to read. Even though,
low.
Yes. And they're so low.
And interpretation. Like, a lot of times, the man is not interpreting it correctly. And it's actually as simple as you're reading it.
Right. So
don't throw in extra words.
Oftentimes, God is very intentional about his words. So why
are we throwing in these extra terms and meanings that are not there?
That's just not there. So yes, that's where I seek a lot of my inspiration. So, for example, for my show, it's actually based on a specific Bible verse, Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And what I did just in practice for that verse was I kind of broke down every single word, and I thought of visually what does this word mean to me? Like,
yeah.
what does this actually look like?
Yeah.
And through that exercise of going through like each word in the verse, I was able to pull together like a coherent visual theme.
Okay.
Of like visual aspects that kept coming up as I was continuing to digest that verse. So yeah, I think it's really about like, how can I make this art so relatable that everyone sees themselves in it,
right?
Everyone understands it, and everyone can just like connect with it on a deeper level.
I love that. Yeah.
And yeah,
I can't wait to see her artwork in Brooklyn Museum.
One day, God willing.
Such a full circle. It would be such a full circle.
That would be so full circle. I mean, gosh, I'm not a crier, but that would be.
Oh, I'd be boo-hooing.
Yeah, I would
the speech.
It would be OD.
Yes.
That's definitely a prayer and a goal.
Alrighty, so the next segment is going to be Wise Vibes, and because we're roommates, I thought, why not look up some crazy Reddit like roommate stories / questions. So Wise Vibes is essentially where I just give advice to Reddit folks who probably won't actually see this, which I should like start tagging
but
the segment,
like maybe
right?
people that are watching it are going through similar things.
You know what I'm saying? That's the goal. I mean, that's not the goal. I hope you're not going through this craziness. But
if you are,
we got you. We got you. And also, like, these stories, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really read them beforehand. I just chose two. But I just felt like, I mean, I feel like we're the perfect roommates. So this is why we could like read other people's crazy freaking roommate stories and be like, damn, that sucks. Anyway, okay, the caption is roommate taking my alcohol.
LOL, that's so funny.
And guess what? They're in college. Are we surprised?
Not at all.
Hi, I'm a college student, 21 female, and live with 3 of my best friends from middle school. We all go to schools in the same area, and I've been noticing my stuff going missing. I definitely make the most money out of my roommates. They're 20 female, 20 female, 21 female. So I usually swallow my pride and buy most of the household essentials rather than us figuring out an even way to split, which we should have done in hindsight. We don't really like. Okay, let me keep going.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that too.
We don't really split, but I feel like we just naturally like
it will even out. But I'm wondering, like, maybe it's harder with 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
I'm also a bartender, so I'm usually the one buying alcohol. I have built up a pretty good bar for hosting and making cocktails, but my roommates are taking the alcohol without asking. I notice my cocktail supplies being dirty, and it's for sure not me using them. That's interesting. I have let them drink some of my unwanted drinks before, but they are drinking my higher shelf liquor. Ooh. That I save for nice drinks. That's tough. I'm not sure how to approach this because we've been best friends for so long and would hate to have any tension between us, but I'm not comfortable with them taking without asking and noticeably consuming a lot of it. They haven't offered to buy their own and use mine. I'm okay with them basically using anything of mine but that. I think she's referring to the higher shelf products. They also take my Red Bulls sometimes, which are known to be like the most expensive energy drink, and I don't make a ton to start with, and nice liquor and energy drinks take up a good chunk of my fun spending. How do I stop them from taking my stuff or at least paying for what they took?
I think the main thing that stood out to me from this story is like, you're saying these are your best friends from middle school, but you don't feel comfortable telling them.
Yeah, why aren't you comfortable?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Like, why do you feel like it's going to create tension?
Yeah.
To be like, hey, could y'all not, like, I paid money for this.
Right. That's actually so true. Y'all been, you're 21?
Exactly.
You've been friends for probably, since 10, 11?
Yeah, like you've been friends for at least 10 years. And I don't think it even has to be, like, a super confrontational thing. Like, you could say it in a funny way, like you could say it in a very casual way.
I recommend actually asking them to replace it instead. So, for example, if it's like a higher shelf, I don't know what brands are using, but let's say it's Casamigos. Like, hey y'all, like the Casamigos is getting a little bit low. Do you guys mind like replacing it? It's 3 of them. They could split that bottle versus you paying for the $50 bottle. I will also say I think it's a little bit too late to ask for money back because it seems like it's been going on for a while.
Yeah.
So that will cause some drama if you're all of a sudden like, here's your $200 bill that y'all need to split up because y'all been drinking my liquor all year. Right?
And I never said that.
And I never said anything, right? Or specify. It sounds like also she didn't really specify what's off limits, what's not. You would think it's common knowledge. Like if I'm gonna take this Tito's versus this Grey Goose, like I think that's common knowledge. However, knowledge ain't so common.
Right. Like they definitely should have asked.
They should have asked for sure. They should have asked regardless.
Yeah, regardless if it's Tito's or
whatever brand it is. Like it should always be. It's a common courtesy to ask your roommate, like, hey, can I use this? Can I drink this? So that way they can say like, oh, because what if you have plans for it? You know,
right?
Like, I plan to host or I plan to take it.
Because she's a bartender. Like she
exactly.
I feel like they should be reasonable. It makes me feel like maybe there's been instances where they've been unreasonable.
Yeah.
Because
why are we feeling so nervous?
Yeah, you've known each other for so long. It's not adding up. Also,
there's this wonderful app called Splitwise that I recently learned about when I took a trip to Costa Rica with a bunch of like, with MJ. You guys know MJ and a few of her friends. Love that app down. Again, like, Unique and I, we don't really do this. However, if you do have like 2-3 roommates, that is true because 2 people is easier. Like, okay, you got toilet paper this time, let me get it next time. Exactly. Or maybe you've been getting toilet paper a lot, let me get the soap or like whatever the case may be. It does eventually offset. With that being said, I could see if it's like a bunch of y'all, that's tough. So get Splitwise and it literally does the math for you. It's amazing. And guess what? If like all 4 of y'all went grocery shopping, y'all got a bunch of different essentials, cleaning supplies, whatever the case may be, put it in there. Let's say Unique owed me $10, but she bought something where I owed her $15. Boom, it does the math. I only sent her $5. It eliminates like the money that she technically owed. Okay, this next one, let's hope I can read this without stuttering or messing up because y'all know I am. It's the wine, but also this is really long.
Okay, I'm listening.
So y'all already know, buckle up, because y'all know Reddit, they be chit-chatting. Like, let's just get to the point.
I love Reddit stories.
No, they're actually so really funny. They're really okay. My roommate Riley, 27 male, and my husband Jack, 26 male, have lived together in various apartments for approximately 7 years. They've always alternated who had the larger bedroom, and at one point shared a room with 2 twin beds.
No, the starting off so crazy because I'm like, roommate and husband?
No, yeah. So I just read that first sentence and then I said, I just copy and paste. I don't know what the rest is gonna be like.
Okay, keep going, yeah.
Jack, her husband, mom became terminally ill last year at 56 and passed away shortly after her re-diagnosis. Before she passed, my husband and I decided to get married so she would be present at our wedding, which was a decision we had to make in less than 24 hours. Wow. It was a traumatic, stressful, and life-altering time. Prior to this, I, 27 female, lived in a different city to do my master's degree. When my husband's mom passed away, he was really emotionally fragile and needed more support. Not to mention, we had gotten married, so I spent a lot of time at their apartment supporting him. It was a really dark time, and our roommate didn't offer support at all, not even a card. Fast forward to May this year. I officially move in, and we ask Riley if he'll switch rooms. He's in the master, double the square footage of our room, with an en-suite, big windows, double closet, and a private balcony. We're in the smaller room, 1 closet, small windows, and a bathroom is at the end of the hall from the bedrooms. Since Jack and I are married and 2 people, it'd make more sense to have 2 people in the larger space and 1 in the other bedroom. He says no, and that we were nutty to ask. Oh. We know what they look like.
Yes, we do.
This really upset my husband because he felt that Riley was being selfish and insensitive. We weren't in a place to move out on our own because A, I was doing a master's and didn't have a lot of income for a more expensive place. Rent is very expensive in our city. And B, Jack wasn't mentally in a space to move after losing his mom. So fast forward to October, we are now renegotiating the rent agreement. Our roommate wants to pay 1/3 of the total rent despite being in the master.
That's ridiculous.
And we want to at least split it 50-50. This made sense to us because A, we were 2 people versus his 1. B, he's still getting a good deal by getting the master bedroom for the price of the smaller one. And C, it's split right down the middle. On the other hand, Riley thinks that since he's only occupying a third of the shared space, he should only have to pay for that. He ran the numbers and measured every inch of the place. His private space, bedroom, bathroom, balcony, etc. is double ours, but he only gets a third of the shared space. So in his mind, it makes sense he should only pay a third of the rent. He also didn't take into account that his room is objectively better than ours. The layout is better and is much brighter. This was a huge argument where we eventually settled on 50-50. I thought this was wild considering he still has a master bedroom. He thought because there was 3 of us, he only gets 1/3 of the living space conveniently, not including his bedroom/private space. And my partner and I cause more wear and tear on the place than he does. He also has a ton of stuff and stores it in our shared storage space, so he occupies half of the storage in the apartment, but he thinks he only gets a third. I have no space to store anything because he has too much stuff. In short, his arguments were mostly moot points, and we feel hurt how stingy he is being, especially in the wake of my husband's mom passing. We are looking around for a place of our own because A, we need more space, and B, our roommate's negativity is compromising our mental well-being. Thoughts? Advice? We are all in the same friend group, so we don't want to end the friendship. But we are extremely hurt by his behavior. I get that he might want the master for himself, but it's upsetting that he won't switch with us out of the goodness of his own heart. That was a lot. Oh, wow.
That was
Thank
a
God
lot.
I could read, though. You know that kid
Thank
in class?
God for literacy.
You know that kid in class where it would be his turn to read, we're like, oh. Sorry, okay. That was a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a lot to process.
It was. I mean, this is a crazy situation.
Situation.
How are you married living with a roommate?
With a roommate. Oh, you're saying when you and Frank get married, I can't be your roommate?
I don't think you want to live with Frank.
It's not even a no. She said, you don't want to live with Frank.
I don't think you want to.
That's hilarious. You know what's funny though? Okay, yeah, I think that's extremely weird. Like, I could understand it up to the point of like, oh, your mom passed away, we got married, you need emotional support, your lease isn't up, so yes, that makes sense. Like, move in. We're renewing and we're staying.
And I honestly think it's wrong for them to ask him to give up his bedroom
just because you got married.
Y'all, because y'all got married doesn't mean I need to give up my space. Y'all need to find another space.
So that was gonna be my next question. This is where I need more context from Reddit. Y'all been living for 7 years. How did y'all alternate the bigger room? Was it like every other year?
Yeah.
Was it like every 2? Like, what was that situation like? Because if it's his turn to get the bigger room, then rightfully so. And if we decided to renew, then I still get to have the bigger room. Like, we're not gonna just move our space around.
Just because.
I kind of, okay, I would say 2 things. One, you can't just expect people to just do things out of the kindness of their hearts. Like, that's
especially
crazy.
when I'm paying for it.
When I'm paying for it, right? So I will say, if I could see, like, it's nuts for you, it is nutty for you to ask him to swap bedrooms if you're in the middle of your lease. However, if it's terms of renegotiation, I think that is when the conversation of how much we're paying in rent should come up with you having bigger space. So if you're like, I don't want to give up the master bedroom, hey, y'all stay in that smaller room, then yes, like, no, you should not be paying a third. And I know why he's saying he wants to pay a third. It's because he's like, oh, it's 2 of y'all, 1 of me.
Right.
Well, that being said, dude, you got a bigger room.
Yeah, you have a bigger room.
You have more space. And I think, though, that she's not factoring in that it's 2 of them. She's considering her husband and her as one person. So when she talked about that storage space, that threw me.
Right, yeah, because we have 2 times the stuff.
Facts. She's not considering that at all. She keeps counting her and her husband as one person.
But it's not. And I also feel like, I mean, obviously we weren't there for the negotiations.
Yeah.
But if he wanted to pay we will pay 2/3 for the master bedroom.
Right. I think that's how it should have gone.
Yeah, that's how it should have gone.
We'll pay the 2/3 if, correct, we get the master bedroom. However, I do agree. If you got the master, your own bedroom,
you
need
need
to
to
be
pay
split.
half.
That's splitting.
At least.
We're splitting at that point.
At least half.
But yeah, it's more of us. So if anything, like, wouldn't you want to pay less rent? That's what I'm thinking. Like, if I'm cool with even staying with a couple, first of all, no one way in hell am I staying with a married couple.
I'm not staying with a married couple. They always say the first year of marriage is the craziest too. Girl. A newlywed couple?
Are we all married? Is this a throuple?
Yeah, like
please, no audience. I was joking with Unique. There is no way in hell am I seeing Franklin every day in the morning like that's my husband too.
Right.
Like, I respectfully love him. Great friend. But there's just no way. At a supper, we must read the room. I'm exiting the chat.
We are married. Like, we're married. But that's why it's so crazy to me that they're even considering renewing with him.
They should just get a studio.
Y'all
get a studio.
Get a studio. Y'all could afford a studio. Is it the ideal space? Will y'all be up in each other's space? Yes.
Yes. Yeah. But like, come on, you're married.
You're married.
You're married.
You have your own household. You're your own unit.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to have a roommate?
I will. Okay, so this is like me talking. Now, my empathetic side talking.
Okay.
There are red flags. I think it's interesting that they talk about how they don't want to lose the friendship because they all have similar friend groups. However, this man didn't show up for your husband. He didn't even send a card.
He didn't even send a card.
He didn't even address your mother, who clearly you were close with, passed away. Nothing. I wouldn't even want to live with him. I would not want to live with you after that.
Like, your friend group is already
kind of janky. I don't know what's going on, but it's a little janky. The other thing I will say is the empathetic side of me. I feel like me, if I had the master bedroom and I knew that y'all, like, we all still wanted to live together, I don't know what world that would be, but I would be like, yeah, y'all can have it. Y'all just have to pay more rent.
I agree. That's what I would do too.
Because it is two people. Like, I cannot, like, you're kind of being a jerk.
Yes, he is being a jerk.
Now, can you rightfully so be a jerk? Yes. But you are being a bit of a butthole.
Exactly.
Right now.
Like, we love, we love our people.
Yes.
We can be kind.
Facts.
But he does have every right to say, no, I'm keeping this bedroom. It would be out of the kindness of his heart.
It would.
To switch, but
he's not owed the kindness of his heart. Exactly. And clearly he's not a kind person because, again, he didn't even...
Exactly. He's not a kind person. So do you even want to live with him? Do you even want to be friends with him?
I think that's a big question. That's a deeper question, honestly.
It is.
So, I guess, advice, thoughts. I mean, the sad part is it's December and... that leaves, so I don't know. I need a follow up. Like, did you sign?
Right.
Maybe we can give advice on both. Well, I guess by now it's either they moved on or they didn't.
Or they didn't.
So if
they signed, I mean, there's nothing to say. Please move out next year.
Yeah.
If you didn't,
wrap it up after this.
I guess the advice is the same.
Stack your bread. Stack your bread. That's the advice.
Yes.
Like, stack your bread. Like, maybe don't take a trip. Maybe don't eat out. Like, stack your bread and be able to afford to move out the next year because this is not an ideal situation for all parties. Because I'm sure the single guy is not excited about this either.
Exactly. And do you want to be starting your marriage with a roommate?
With a roommate? Bro. But they are young. Well, not really. They're like 27, 26.
Yeah, I don't know. I would not, as a married person, I could not imagine
living in another person. Yeah, that's crazy. Especially because I'm picturing, maybe we're just picturing our current space. Maybe it's a house. So
that's
like
true.
Maybe it's like different floors are not next to each other. We're picturing
true.
like
maybe it's not New York apartment. Yeah, maybe
there were some U's in there, so it might be London.
Okay.
So maybe it's like a flat situation. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but it still doesn't sound ideal.
It just, yeah, I just couldn't.
Because he's not wrong, but the shared space. He does only get a third. Technically, if we like combine y'all two as a couple,
yeah.
So like. That is a lot.
He's not wrong. He's not kind.
Two things can be true.
Two things can be true.
Yeah.
And that couple, as a married unit, needs to figure it out.
They need to figure it out. Y'all need to make some serious decisions.
Yeah, like...
The primary being move out next year.
Right.
Expeditiously.
I'm just like... I don't know, though. Like, a man's mom dying would not be a reason for us to get married.
That's a whole other thing. That was interesting. Like, I can respect and understand you want your mother to, like, witness us getting married. Right. But I don't know if that's the reason to
get
married. And we talked about longevity. Like, is that going to keep us together?
Right.
From years to come?
Right.
I hope, but probably not. Like... No, potentially.
Like, I could still be there for you.
And we definitely rushed into this.
We definitely rushed into it.
Couldn't we have done some other type of ceremony? Like, we couldn't even afford to freaking live together on our own. Exactly. So maybe we were, like, rushing it.
Yeah, the merit... there are a lot of problems in that story.
There are a lot of problems, but we're wishing you the best of luck.
We are wishing y'all the best. I believe in marriage, so I believe in y'all.
I believe in marriage at the right time.
I hope it gets better.
Luck and hope, yeah. Well, this was lovely. Thank you so much for being here.
This was so much fun.
Yes.
I'll be back.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we have to. This came too natural. Like,
It
you have
did.
to be back.
Yes,
you have to be back.
I'll be back.
Please let the people know where they can find you.
Yes, so you all can find me at _Homesown_ on Instagram. It's spelled HOMESOWN. Like we're sowing seeds, because this is sowing season, and whatever you sow is what you reap. So follow me for art, for life, for inspiration. My art journey is meant to be an inspiration to those who are on their own creative journey and to help them keep going. So yes, let's connect, let's chat.
I love that. And she has some things coming up, so I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yes.
To be continued.
2025 will be a year of work. So
a lot of work, but we're ready. We're ready.
Keep us in your prayers, man.
No, I know the schedule's looking crazy, but I'm excited. And you know what?
It'll be good.
Next time you'll come back on, or hopefully before then, honestly. But
to promote. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.
Bye, y'all.